Ciao Tatulunga. Hi everybody. So what I'm going to do is actually replant my Hellebore. Ended up getting it a couple of days ago, and I am planning it to leave it outside. So after a lot of research, it looks like it will work well to be outside in all seasons. So that is the plan. It is spring. The best time to really pot stuff is in the spring, in the growing season. So I'm going to let you know what I did. I got this kind of large pot. Don't know how large it is. I'll write that down in my comments. But I just put a bunch of holes in there because we need a lot of drainage, especially it's going to be outside. And I don't want the water to freeze in the winter. And also what I am going to do is I'm going to take just a tissue and I'm going to put it at the bottom so that when I do put my soil in this pot, it's not going to fall out from the bottom. And with time, that's going to end up decomposing. And because it's spring, it won't freeze before the winter, so that's fine. So what I have done is I grabbed my handy dandy pot, and we're going to use regular potting mix as well as some sand that I'll put in there. And I actually also have some earthworm casings that I'm going to put on top of it. So let's get to it. I'm going to mix my stuff. And just so everybody knows, I have zero experience when it comes to planting. I am learning from my mistakes. So you'll learn with me from what I have done wrong or not. So this is just regular potting mix that I got for the Hellebore. Okay, we'll see how this works. I'm gonna probably try to see what half and half looks like with the sand, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna put this here so I have a reference of how much I want. Probably don't need to put too much because I mean my pot already has dirt in it, so. Alright, so I got the Moser Lee sand. It says it is for pots. I have Googled and it says it's fine to, it's actually the one that's recommended to use when it comes to anything for pots when you wanted a lot of drainage. So it says here that it is mixed outdoor soil. Natural earth often consists of heavy clay that exhibits the growth of plant roots. That inhibits the growth of plant roots. Add salt to outdoor soil to create a mix that lets your plant roots grow strong. So I do not want any root rot, especially in the winter. You are very likely to get root rot. So, or at least your roots end up freezing. So let's avoid that. And I'm only going to buy one Hellebore this season, just to see where I'm doing anything wrong. And if this grows well, then I'll continue and get more. I also want different colors, so they only had white. They come in purple, red, like a burgundy, and a red. So I would like to get those. Let's mix this here. Just watch that there is actually a lot of dust coming off. If you're going to use perlite instead of sand, just understand that the perlite actually has a powder that comes off of that is very toxic to your lungs. It's beautiful weather outside today, so it's a great time to repot and plant. We are supposed to get some snow later on this week, so we'll see how that works and see if my plant survives. And I'll let you know what else I'm going to do to help with drainage for this plant. I'll put this back over here and see how this is doing. It's going to have a little bit more soil. I'm pretty much using almost this whole entire bag, and this bag is new. I'm going to put a little bit of sand. And the sand probably going to use almost this whole entire bag. I'll need to buy more tomorrow. I'm actually getting a lemon tree tomorrow, so I'm very excited to see how that goes. I'm going to put this whole bag of sand actually, because why not? So this is a 5-pound bag. It's sand. It's going to be heavy. So it is kind of small, but it's, you know, heavy. Alright. Okay. Perfect. We are all done. Next. Now, for the winter, to make sure that that my roots don't freeze in the winter, especially when the water ends up kind of sitting at the bottom here, what you want to do is actually put some type of protection at the bottom. So you can use that will let the water drain out without it sticking on your roots at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, what you could do is put some rocks at the bottom, anything that will help you get some of that protection from the roots actually sitting on the bottom of the pot. So what I got is I got a little terracotta pot. This is just from Walmart. It was actually pretty cheap, $1.98. And I'm going to break this terracotta pot, and because this, from what I have read, is better to keep at the bottom rather than rocks. Don't know why, but I've been told that other people have tried the rocks and the terracotta pot is best. So let's see. Have my handy dandy hammer. There you go. Ooh. If you can find old ones, this will work. Probably better rather than buying a whole new one. Alright. So I'm gonna break that one. So yeah, just little pieces. Do it outside, please, so you don't have all these things in little pieces of terracotta pot at your home. So I'm honestly just putting at the bottom here. To give me that protection. And there you go. That is what it will look like. See, I just, that bottom, not that you can see it because it's probably dark, but that should work. And I am going to also put these earthworm casings in here. I totally forgot. So earthworm casings are amazing. It is organic matter. It feeds and helps your plant grow better. I think it lowers the pH. I'm actually not sure if the Hellebore is like acidic soil. I didn't actually look. But this is definitely something that you want to use for your Meyer tree, which I am going to use for my lemon tree. But I also will use this as a little bit of feed for my Hellebore. And I'm going to mix it in here as well. So Mixing it in, especially if you're going to repot into like a new plant, you want to mix it in because when you water it, the feed is going to be distributed throughout the pot into the roots better. If you already have a planted pot that you're not repotting, just scrape the top of the soil and then put that on top. Put it on top and then kind of scrape the soil a little bit. So I didn't put much. I probably just put like a quarter of this bag. And we'll see if it does well and if it blooms beautifully. That is the plan. Alright. Now the sun is almost gone. I'm breaking up some of these clumps of dirt because I do not want clumps of dirt. Tomorrow I should be getting a couple of bushes, a Mr. Poppins and a Mrs. Poppins that I'll plant outside. And I can take a video of that as well. I've prepped my soil. I really just dug where they're going to be. Okay, let's do this. Very excited. Moved a little bit, so I'm gonna just put this back in here. There you go. Perfect. Let's put the soil in here. Okay. On the side a little bit. So tomorrow's weather is still warm, a little bit rainy, which will be nice because it'll keep this nice and humid. Since it's new soil, it's going to want some water for it to stay hydrated. Alright, so this is also known as Lenten rose. I think it's also known as a winter rose. So this is good for all seasons. I'm very excited. Let's see how this looks. Oh. Alright, good thing we're taking it out. It's kind of wet still. It did rain earlier. So we want it not too low. We kind of want it at the top because when winter comes, you don't want the roots to be at the bottom. Again, I got a ton of time until winter comes, but alright. And I'm just going to put the rest of the soil. I'm going to trim some of these leaves at the bottom. Everybody has their own opinion on, how to plant stuff. Just try your best. See how it turns out. I mean, if it's done, change something. You can always replant something. I've had to repot some plants, at least 3 or 4 times because they kept getting super moist. Alright, it. Now, the soil was already actually pretty wet, so I'm going to just lightly water this, especially because it's going to rain tomorrow. I'm going to get some more sand tomorrow and just top it off with the exact same stuff that I had. So basically I have actually used a whole entire 8-quart potting mix bag and a 5-pound sand bag. It's a horticultural sand, so you don't have to boil it. If you're going to buy any other sand that has some fine rocks or something, you're going to need to probably boil it because you don't want to introduce any bugs in your plant. No, I mean it's outside anyways, but you know. Alright. Let's water this and then we are good. That was quick and easy. Beautiful. I'm going to take my little sign. This is a beautiful plant that if put in the right spot, it should continuously have flowers throughout the winter as well. So that is why I bought it. I wanted a plant that will flower throughout the winter as well. And see how that works. If I love them so much and this works very well, I will probably get some to plant outside. Alright. So this blooms in the winter and the spring. In the summer, does lose its leaves. It goes kind of in a resting mode in the summer. So it's a little different than most plants. It's very exciting. What is that? I think it says it grows 4 inches, 4 feet. I don't know. Anyways, when it comes to height, it will grow 12 to 18 inches high, and it will be 12 to 18 inches wide. Hardiness -10 to 20 degrees to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you know, it can last a lot of winter, which is amazing. Low watering once established. I'm just going to let, honestly, the environment water it. And then 3 to 6 hours of morning sun. So I get morning sun over here. I'm going to leave it here for the winter. I mean for the summer. When it's cold, the winter, yeah, I'll leave it out here. And then in the fall and the summer, I'm going to put it at the back where it has more shade so it can be protected by the heat. Let's water it. Just got a regular jug here. I do have a watering can. I just don't want to go get it right now because it's in our tool shed, and I worked so much in the tool shed a few days ago. So I'm not going to bother doing that. Let's give it good water. Now in the winter, you do not want this pot to sit right straight on the concrete. So what I would say is if you have any more broken terracotta pots or like just broken bricks, anything like that, rocks, like a few rocks, you want to just elevate the pot. You can have potting legs, but if you have a lot of pots, it's going to take so much space if you put potting legs. So I am just going to get 4 rocks, put on each side, and then lift it up, just because you want to make sure that the water, when it starts dripping through the pot, does not freeze onto the ground regardless of the surface that it's going to be on. The surface I'm putting it on is going to have rocks underneath it already, but I don't want anything to get, I don't want the whole entire pot to be sitting on that. So I will be elevating my pot for the winter And that's what it looks like. Alright. Just a light watering. It is even the evening. And then the soil was already wet because it did rain earlier, so I don't want to overwater it. This is what a 1 gallon container. And I'm putting about halfway. I'll add some more soil tomorrow, just the same kind of combination that I just did, and that's it. Alright, everybody have a wonderful evening, and Nopta Buena, and I will see you later.